Welcome, guys, to another episode of the Lunch Table Podcast. We are here for episode 7 of The Boys. Last episode, Herogasm. No pun intended. It came and we saw a lot of wild shit. But coming into this episode, it was another great ride. Very character-driven episode. This one, I would say. But we got a lot of thoughts on it. We're gonna talk about all the great points that happened in this episode. So Akram, let's take it away with your thoughts.
Yeah, it felt as if it was like a mini anthology series within like an episode. It was so like character driven, like each character had their own like journey, and it was awesome. And it felt so weird too. There was like some touching moments, and it kind of gave me bipolar, I'd say. It was like it was wild and shocking, especially that ending. Oh my god, that didn't happen in the
They
comics.
dropped a major truth bomb that we're gonna discuss towards the end. But yeah,
Girl, that
wild,
was
dude.
tea. Yeah.
How you doing, Wendy? Well, yeah, this episode, it's the great thing about this show. It's like they always make each episode like feel like it's not filler. Like every episode, even if it is filler, has significant relevance to the greater plot, and I love that about this show. And like a lot of people would say, like, this show is about like, the raunchiness or like the display of graphic content. But at the heart of this show, there is a heart. There's a heart of gold. And I think that's a beautiful thing. But we start off this episode, so coming right after Annie's reveal, where she kind of like this whistleblower for Vought, and then Ashley is what's so funny? It's crazy. Like I swear to God, this show is like you were talking about, like how this is kind of like The Simpsons, like it predicts the future and shit. Because this episode is happening right as the Trump January 6th trials are happening right now
Yeah.
with the fucking Cassidy Hutchinson testimony. So I think that's so crazy that like just the timing of it. So it's like so many parallels to our reality. But yeah. So they're trying to cover up, obviously. Annie's exposing shit, but then we also have like Soldier Boy. He's still out with Huey and Butcher, and they're kind of like teaming up to take down Homelander. But yeah, there was some great moments in this episode. So, which character stood out to you?
It's hard to say. Everybody had their time in the spotlight. I think, to be honest with you, it's gonna surprise a lot of people, but I say Black Noir because
Yes.
they haven't given him that much depth in the comic books, right? And in some essence, Black Noir was like this big like moment that was revealed who Black Noir was in the comics. Here we already now know, so it's pretty tragic, I'd say. And also, like, I just like how this episode kind again, it's very political, like, and I feel like Homelander is such a Trump character now. Like, I just realized that with the taco bowls, and then now he was like telling people, like, pointing at the news and everyone's booing and stuff like that. So obviously, always for me, Homelander's like a spotlight. But the great thing is everyone, like, this is like the episode where it feels such like a show on A&E, or like intervention or something, where there's this drug that's around and everyone is changing for the worst, and they're affecting their loved ones, their families. And so this is the episode where you kind of look back to your childhood and you kind of deconstruct why you're this way. So it's such like a show where it's like about rehab, as if, so but for me, Black Noir, I think it's fucking crazy how like this whole season they tried so many new things. Like, we had orgies that me and you weren't a part of, unfortunately. They had a musical, and they have like animation, which is awesome.
Animation, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
what
you
that's
tell
the
us.
thing. This show, like, they pull so many little and I feel like watching like a little mini episode of like the Diabolical spin-off
Mm.
series too. But that's a great point what you said about like how this episode kind of felt like a rehab for everybody, because everybody's going through these challenges and they're trying to overcome them. Especially Butcher. I love that his little scene in this episode was like him like discovering that he's kind of like slowly transforming into like this kind of like villain in a way, and he doesn't learn from that lesson at the end too, which
Oh.
we'll talk about. And Huey too, he's kind of like stepping up to be like I felt so bad like in the beginning, like he felt like useful, like telling like Butcher like, oh yeah, well, let's just track down his like pharmacist or whatever. That he kind of is like Butcher's like, I guess, like adoptive like little brother way. Like they're trying to like protect each other. But yeah, the Black Noir thing really shocked me too. I didn't expect that. What the fuck was he eating in the beginning?
That was
Was that like
nasty.
beans
Yeah.
or some shit? I don't know what that
He's
was.
allergic to everything else, maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a shocking moment for me. Because we don't really see him like you said, like in the comics, but also in this show, he's kind of like that background character, and we know how terrifying he is too. Because that fight in season 2 that he had
Oh yeah.
with Butcher when they were in the fire apartment, whatever. So seeing him like actually like scared, like I feel like Soldier Boy, he's kind of like the boogeyman of this season because he's like everybody's afraid of him, like MM and now Homelander and Black Noir. So it's very like he affects so many people in a way, and he's kind of like worse than Stormfront
Yeah. Oh
this
yeah, for
season.
sure. For sure. Yeah. I mean, another thing. He's basically Homelander before Homelander was Homelander, you know. And so you have that terrifying aspect that he could tear you apart, and he abuses that power. And I feel like the show also kind of incorporates this idea that like political figures, and then you have the establishment and so forth is like this type of establishment, and so all these characters, they're shitty, but they all have like something that traumatized them in the past too. So are they really good people? Are they just twisted and tormented by their past, and that's why they're like this? I can ask the same about Soldier Boy. I would like to see more of Soldier Boy's past, or maybe because Homelander's the way he is because of his past, apparently his childhood. So I want to get like more into Soldier Boy's psychology.
Well, they revealed a little bit, like the legend was saying, like he didn't actually like
Oh yeah.
fight in Germany. He was kind of just like there, I guess, probably just like as like like how Captain America was in the beginning, like how he was just there like sell like bonds or some shit. But I guess he does like have like actual like military experience too. But it was kind of like interesting to see like he's kind of like fake in a way, like he's not a real hero, and that's something like I've always kind of like uh like seeing like how people like worship like the military. Like you should always like respect your veterans, but like sometimes like you shouldn't like idolize them in a way because it's like not everybody like fucking like gave their life or some shit. Just like they probably just did one tour, right, and never like really did any action. So I thought that was just like interesting in a way. Um, yeah, a lot of shit happened in this episode. Annie, she and damn Annie fucking came through with that when she caught Homelander in 4K on that video. I
Yeah.
was like, holy shit!
I
Like
was like,
she's like really
whoa.
stepping up this season.
Yeah, man, she's that fucked me up. I was shocked. She's playing with fire here. I'm still surprised to see Homelander like I get what she's trying to do, but this man can pop off, and as we've seen, like at the end of the episode, like now I'm wondering, oh shit, now it's gonna really be all out war. Like, okay, the green light's on. Um, yeah, I was shocked. And how many people? Like millions of people were watching that as well. I was like,
I
oh
know,
my
like
god.
thousands, like fucking, like probably like she had like TikTok open or some shit,
I know it was hilarious though.
or
Like
IG
Homelander,
live,
like
and we were there, like just commenting.
he said, "Hey, everybody."
Well, it's interesting to see like Homelander in this episode because he's still terrifying, but he's also very vulnerable at the same time.
Hmm.
Like how he is with like Annie, but also like with Victoria Newman as well.
Yeah.
So she made like some deal with him. I didn't see what was on that piece of paper, so I don't really know what that favor was. Um,
It was an address, I believe,
yeah,
because
it
that
was an
was at the end
address.
of it. Yeah, I don't know whose address is that. Oh shit! Oh no, it's obvious, dude. It's Ryan. It's the address like where to find Ryan. There you
Ah,
go.
but how does is that? But then, what does she want get out of that though? Like, what's the
She
favor that?
she's like her father. She's playing both sides.
Ah,
So something is gonna be fucked
you
up
sly
yeah.
motherfucker.
He's a pretty whore.
No, that actually makes a lot of sense now thinking
Hmm.
about it. And that actually like this whole episode talked about like parentage too.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Butcher, like how like seeing like how he was with his own father, MM,
Hmm.
with his daughter and that whole scene with Todd. That guy was a fucking jerk too. I'm glad he just lock the shit out of it.
Yeah,
I
right.
was
Yeah,
like, fuck that dude.
I honestly, part of me was like naive, like thinking like, damn, why don't you just tell him the truth? But I'm like thinking like, what's the point? That's just putting him
He's so
more in danger.
brainwashed. It wouldn't. It's like when you talk to like your conservative uncle and like try to
Mm,
tell him like all the bad things about like Trump or some shit. And it's like talking to a brick wall, basically, right?
mm.
Um, I want to ask you though, which did you think was weirder this episode? The Deep with the octopus or Homelander with the cow?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I felt like I was just shocked, like, because I was looking at the octopus face. Matt, I was trying to see like facial expressions. Like that was a horny octopus. That was like that's a. I guess that's a babe as an octopus. Like such a babe. Homelander though, I thought he was gonna kill the cow at first. I was like, oh no,
Steal
don't
the
kill
milk.
it.
Yeah.
Well, they put in the beginning like something like another little notifier of like a warning, like so,
Because there's a
which
lot
is
of
really
fucking
funny.
bestiality in this episode.
Yeah, there's so
Like,
much, so many. Actually,
I
in the
wouldn't be
trivia,
surprised if PETA fucking like gave them like death warnings or some
well, the
shit.
Deep is fucked
Like,
up because apparently in a trivia, like the X-ray for this episode, apparently the Deep tried to like role play with his wife as she was a mermaid and he was like Neptune or whatever, but she nearly drowned in like that little tank thing or whatever. They're always trying to do fucked up things. And what's funny is I wonder how the Deep now is going to handle his situation without the wife. At the same time,
oh,
too,
he's
we
gonna fucking like screw it over.
well,
Like
this
you
the
saw how
office is
stupid.
empty. He's gonna do nothing. He's
I
just
know.
gonna sit there. That's it.
Also, how many people are left in the 7? Because I
Oh,
feel like it's like the 3 now. Well, A Train survived, obviously.
yeah, well, Black Noir apparently is a loon. I don't know. Yeah, A Train.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
and
an. Huh?
oh well, yeah. Talking about A
Oh,
Train.
yeah, yeah. I was
Well, I
gonna
was gonna say
say.
we also just found out where Maeve is in
Oh,
this
yeah,
episode.
that's true. Yeah, I thought she was gonna commit suicide in this episode because they put up the warning, and I thought, oh, she's gonna kill herself here. Um, and which is funny too. Like, I wonder if Homelander kind of learned like not to rape people because of Billy, which is bad, but now he wants to harvest her eggs. Like to have
I feel
children
like
with
that's
her.
even more fucked up. To be honest with you, that's
It's
like
like he's so twisted. Yeah.
it's like you're still like you're literally like harvesting organs like beyond a person's you basically like see her as like cattle basically like
Yeah.
just like she's not even like human to you. It's like you're just raising her to be like a fucking like a hen basically.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. It's crazy. I wonder what's going to happen with Maeve if she'll ever get out. And also, yeah. So we see A Train. He's recovered, so he's not dead. He's at the hospital. In Vault Towers, and yeah, he has Blue Hawk's,
Heart.
Nighthawk's heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. You know why? Because I think a lot of people are twisted on A Train too. They're like thinking, should I like this guy? Like, there's something about him that we all like him. Like, it's just he's so like, it's the A Train, baby, and it's funny. But there's this like sense of like he's a hypocrite. He's two faced. But now he has like humility in him because not only did that happen to his brother, but now he has someone who did that to his brother as his heart, right?
Yeah,
And
that's so
so
ironic. It's
yeah,
like he wanted to kill Blue Hawk, but Blue Hawk still like literally like lives inside him.
in
That's
his
so crazy
heart
thing.
out of
Yeah.
anything. So that's like a really emotional thing. That could change your perspective on life. Just thinking about that. So I find that really cool. I think there's gonna be redemption for A Train. I didn't know A Train was so like fucked up in the comics too. Because I started to read the comics actually, everyone. So yeah, so A Train here, he's probably super different from the one in the comics, and I'm glad. I'm all for it, and I really hope that he can be a part of the boys in some shape, way, or form. And maybe he's gonna fucking use his powers now more often, which is great.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, because we only saw like one instance where like he really like uses the full potential of his power.
Hmm.
But that makes me wonder like where like at what point does he start like really becoming like a threat? Like because now that he's getting better, like is he gonna side with Homelander or is he gonna like eventually like kill Homelander? Because he still hates Homelander too. So it's like I doubt like because he really all he wants I guess is like fame, but he still has kind of like a heart in him too. Not no pun intended, but
Ah, you see.
but he still like has a heart towards his community also. So
Yeah, yeah,
it
for
makes me
sure.
wonder like where his real loyalties lie in a way.
Well, in a way, that's perverted too, because his heart is the heart of a racist at the same time. So like it really like changes you, I think, and I'm all for it because I do
Mhm.
like A Train. More so
Mhm.
than the Deep, because the Deep is like I can't really forgive him what he did to Annie,
The Deep is
but
just a meme. That's all he
he's
is,
such
like, in the
it's
show.
so funny. He is like Ashton Kutcher from like he reminds me of Dude, Where's My Car,
Yeah,
honestly.
really on like Ashton Kutcher if he was Aquaman.
Right.
But what did you think of, like, the scenes with, like, Frenchie and Kimiko? Because we got that, little scene where, like, she gets her powers back, and she's
Yeah.
kind of like but it's her choice this time, right? It's not, like, forced
Mm.
upon her. I thought that was a beautiful moment too, like, when, like, they had the little dance and, like, because Frenchie in last season was like, "What's life without dancing?" Right? So they have that cute little like,
Mm.
that actually that scene almost made me cry, honestly.
Mm.
But what'd you think of it?
Yeah, I think that scene was all about like for her at least it's all about acceptance because she's battling this idea that she's a monster and she in a way has to forgive herself. And I think that now the sky's the limit for her. And she wants to protect her family. So I think really that was a touching moment. That was like the least depressing and like shocking moment too. It felt very like Netflixy love story, which the soft hearted in me, like the soft heart in me, kind of like is all for that. So it was really sweet. What did you think?
Yeah, it was really like a touch. That's why I've said this in the last episode. Like their scenes together always feel like a breath. Like just like we can
Mm,
relax between like the action scenes because like they have such a good chemistry with each other. And it was really nice scene. It was like Kimiko's like opening her heart up to like Frenchie. And, like, she's like, "I wanna protect you with everything I have." Kinda like how, like, Huey wants to protect, like, Starlight in a way,
mm,
'cause, they had this great conversation, like, the V like, everyone thinks, like, the V is, like, the source of, like, all these problems, but, like, the V just makes you either better or worse, like, depending on your humanity. Because she was like, "These powers aren't bad, it's just, like, the person, like, using it."
mm,
'Cause, like, imagine if, like, Frenchie had powers too, like, what would he use it for? Probably to protect Kimiko, right? So
mm.
it's the person, not the powers, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Um, but then, Soldier Boy so they're trying to find, Mindstorm, which is another person from Payback, and he's got, like, these, like, psychological powers, so he puts, like, Butcher in like a WandaVision thing,
Hmm.
like, he's, like, trapped in this vision. That was a great, like, flashback scene too, like, seeing, like, what he went through with Lenny because we only saw, like, glimpses of it in, like, season 2, and, like, him, like, when he sees, like, Huey, he kinda, like, sees Lenny in a way too. Um, but it's so interesting, it's, like, I wonder if, like, that's why he's afraid to, like, be, like, more of a father toward Ryan because he doesn't wanna be like his dad in a way because he doesn't wanna fuck up with him.
I think he is his dad. I think that he doesn't accept who he is. Kimiko accepted herself. He doesn't accept it. So I think like that messes with him, you know? He is his dad. I mean, he beats on people, even if some deserved it. Still, it doesn't justify killing people. But he did it. He is
Mhm.
his dad, basically, with access to the CIA and stuff. So I think that's why at the end, which we'll speak about a little bit more, I think that happened, and I think it made sense. It was realistic. Yeah. But what did
Mhm.
you think about that?
It was so revealing,
Yeah.
and I feel really bad for Butcher, like, seeing because like, you can tell, like, he regrets so much of who he is. Like,
Yeah.
he's admitted that he's an asshole, but most of it's because of his father, right? And I think he really, like he really wants to keep Huey, like, out of this life, and I think that's kind of the reason why he didn't want him to take the Temp V. And now, Annie revealed that, Temp V, puts you at risk.
Yeah.
So it
Swiss
gives you, like,
cheese
seizures
brain.
and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shit, like 3 to 5 doses, like, kills you and shit.
Yeah.
Um, so Butcher like, omits that little detail from Huey,
Mm.
and because, his revenge, I think, outweighs, like, any consequences for his friends. I think that's why he didn't tell Huey. So now he's kinda, like, becoming what Lenny said, like, he's gonna kill everybody, even his friends, to get what he wants to.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, I felt kind of like sick when he like the thing is he's screwed anyway. Like that's the sad part about it is he's not doing anything good. Sure, maybe the world is better without Homelander, but he didn't do any good by not telling Huey that because we seen at the end now what's gonna happen basically. So that made me really sad. and I'm scared for Huey and Butcher. Um, so speaking about the end, I just wanted to talk about the most shocking moment. So Mindstorm has been beaten to death by Soldier Boy, his
in a
cave.
very U.S. agent
Yes.
manner.
Yes, exactly. And so Mindstorm whispers something to Soldier Boy, so we didn't hear it. At the end of the episode, somebody calls Homelander, and so it's none other than Soldier Boy, right? So Soldier Boy
He
says
picks up the
he.
phone. He's like, "Who is this? You."
Yeah, exactly. He probably will get a lot of spam if he was like. So apparently Soldier Boy banged like this hot babe with a Pomeranian bush. I feel like such like the Joe Rogan podcast right now. And so they have some of his sperm. So you guys can connect two and two. Soldier Boy is Homelander's father, and that's revealed
I
now.
am your father.
Yeah, what do you what went through your mind? Like what do you think about
That
that
fucking
reveal?
shocked me. I didn't. That was such like a curveball for this show because they sleep with each other in the comics. They're totally like
Mm.
unrelated. But
Mhm.
now thinking about it, like that made so much sense for this show.
Mhm.
It's like, and in a way, it makes me think of like, would Homelander be worse if he was raised by Soldier Boy? And it kind of brings up the nature versus nurture argument a bit because he is basically like Soldier Boy. Like he's a complete like manipulator. He's toxic. But it made me think of like if Soldier Boy was still with him to raise him, how would he turn out? Would he be like worse? Would he actually like be like smarter or like I guess like dumber maybe? Because like
Yeah.
Soldier Boy's not the brightest either. But like how would he be with a father? Maybe he would actually be more like caring in a way. Or would he be like Butcher too, like with his father too?
Yeah, that's true. I think probably I think he would have been like an exact copy of Soldier Boy. Like you kind of take that sometimes from like your parental relationships and stuff. I think he would have been like an exact copy, except he could fly and shoot lasers out of his eyes. Um, what's funny is Homelander did like say like I think it was a season two. I believe it's season two or season. No, I think it was season one. Where it's like the people don't want this and that; they want a little bit of John Wayne, right? And so Soldier Boy is completely like
The
this.
Marble Man, right?
Right, right, right. So, and it's so funny that they're both like supposed to represent America. Again, I mentioned this before. Soldier Boy is supposed to represent what America isn't, and Homeland is supposed to represent how America is secretly, in the comics at least. So it's like a bombshell, honestly, to see this, but at the same time too, um, I think it's so refreshing, I honestly do, because we never would have expected this to happen. I never did, at least. So it's
It
wild.
was a curveball for me, but that makes me wonder like where like Soldier Boy's like loyalties lie now, because like
Oh
he did
yeah.
make a deal with Butcher, but finding out that he's his son, he's probably not going to kill his son, right? Because now that he
Mm,
found out he has like a legacy, he's going to want to protect that, and they could probably like robot together, and
yeah.
that's probably his mindset.
Oh
So,
yeah.
what do you predict will happen in the finale?
I think Butcher, he's gonna come close to death. Honestly, I think he's gonna take the temp V again, and I think something will happen to him where he'll come close to death, and it'll kind of be like this cliffhanger until the next season. I think Huey probably won't take the temp V, because of Annie will protect him, and I also think there's going to be a team up with Soldier Boy and Homelander. Um, Probably for next season, because if you hire Jensen Ackles, he's gonna stick around. Um, so I think it's mostly gonna be like all cliffhangers. I don't think anybody will die, but I think it'll be all cliffhangers, unless there's like a peace treaty that happens, kind of like in the comics. Unless they go for that, and maybe Soldier Boy will actually like. There's this peace treaty, and Soldier Boy will actually be now included in VOT, and he'll be a part of the seven somehow. Who knows? Maybe Black Noir will die. I don't know if they'll do that. Maybe Soldier Boy will take over the role of Black Noir. In the comics, Black Noir was there to kill Homelander just in case. So maybe
Mhm.
Soldier Boy actually will take the place. And who knows? He'll probably get like an upgraded costume next season. Like it'll probably look like kind of like Homelander's. Like in the comics, he's basically the American flag. What do you
Mhm.
think?
A lot of things could go left and right, but I think you made some good points too. I think Black Noir after this episode, he's probably gonna take his revenge on Soldier Boy and try and kill him. Um, so then he's probably gonna have to fight Homelander too, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like his fear of Soldier Boy outweighs his loyalty to Homelander. That's the thing. Like this show, like plays a lot with like conquering our greatest fears. Um, I do think I have a feeling that Soldier Boy, even though Homelander is his son, he still cares more about being like America's golden boy than having his son. So I don't know if he would kill him, but he definitely would like fight for power because it's a power dynamic. Like they're both like the top of their game right now, and when you have two alpha males, like one of them's gonna want control. Um, I wonder if we'll see like if Maeve like gets free, like maybe Annie. Like I'm surprised like Annie. Well, I guess she probably didn't know where Maeve was, but I wonder if like Annie's gonna figure out where Maeve is and then like bust her out, and then they start building like this like anti Homelander like revolution kind of thing going on because now Kimiko has her powers back too, and they found out like how to or they found out like what Soldier Boy's like weaknesses, um, so they could use that against him too. The real question is like what's gonna happen with Huey and Butcher because they've kind of like been the focus of this season so far, and they've changed a lot uh from season one. Huey especially because he's so far down this road that he's kind of like followed in the footsteps of Butcher in a way. So he's kind of like out for blood too. But he still has this humanity in him too. Like you saw that with the priest and the nun scene. Like he doesn't like fully believe in like killing just like random people just to kill them, right? So I don't know. There's a lot of things that could happen, but so far this season has been great. Like it's really been shocking to see like where everybody's at, um, and what everybody's play is. And that's another thing. Like Victoria Newman, we also have like what's her angle too. Like is she pro Homelander or is she like anti Homelander? Like that's the thing. It's like where does everybody stand with Homelander? That's the real thing. So I think understanding like where everybody's motivation is, will really decide like what happens in this final episode. Um, but overall, I would give this episode a 10 out of 10. It was a great like character driven story. Um, wrap up your thoughts and how would you rate it?
Yeah, I would so give it a 10 out of 10. I think it again it was like a mini anthology series. Everybody's like characters were like a mini basically. It was great. So yeah, this does it for this episode. We have one episode left. We're going to review next week. If you made it to the end, please drop a like. We really appreciate you for that. And also check out our social channels. We have an IG, which will be linked down below. We have a TikTok, which we should probably link that down below, actually, Dylan. But yeah,
We're
and
working on
then,
it.
yeah. Follow us in Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And if you guys want to check out other reviews from us, we're going to actually do a review for Stranger Things Part 2, which is going to be probably lit.
Right after this episode.
Yeah. I think someone's going to die, so I can't wait to get into that. And also, we're currently reviewing Miss Marvel, which surprisingly we had a great amount of views. Thank you so much for your support. We really
Thank you
appreciate
guys.
it.
That really meant a lot to us.
Absolutely. So Dylan, take us away.
Yeah. Great content we got out. We're also doing a Thor Love and Thunder review when that releases, I believe, next week. So you'll want to check that out. And then we have a couple more review episodes left before our season 3 wraps up, before the beginning of August. Or is it August or July? I forget.
I think it's July because Nope, remember?
Oh, that's right. So yeah, we have a lot of great things planned, and so far I've been loving doing these reviews. This summer was so full of content, and I'm so happy that we got to cover so much. And we appreciate you guys as always, giving us likes, shares, support. Check out our playlists. We covered Obi-Wan not too long ago, so we did a whole season review for that. Book of Boba Fett, all our Marvel content, What If, so we have a lot of great content for that as well. But we're trying to get into more like little indie stuff too. So we're gonna probably Akram really wants to watch Succession or do a season 4 review, so I'm catching up right now. So when that comes out, we'll probably do something for that, and we have a lot of great content coming out as well. So and then check out Akram's channel too. He does a lot of great video essays as well.
Thank you.
So sorry for my long tangent, but thank you guys so much. And until then, thank you for having lunch with us.
See you guys.